So the next one is, again, a rates matter, you'll be pleased to hear. It's incorporating the travel rate into effectively the uniform annual general charge. The rate, just for a bit of history, was set up in the 2013-2016 3-year plan. So the intent here, and when it was set up, it was to fund, we've got it set out in the questions, was to fund active travel so at that time there was an active travel area within council, or a team within council. We don't have that now, but initially it was set up to fund over a 5-year program key cycleway projects, and they were listed out. It's a charge of $20 per ratepayer. So the proposal is to, just for tidiness and again transparency, because we're spending a different amount than this on active travel, is to incorporate that into the uniform annual general charge and remove this rate from the rating notice.
Okay. Aaron, question?
Just a little bit of clarification. It was to raise that $20 a year per household was to raise $68 million, which was the entire cost of the cycleways network and the head-to-head walkway.
Inflation.
So it was collecting for that, and then over design, and then it was to be designed within 5 years.
Actually, staff were super clear at the time that it would only pay for half the cycleways, and someone in the chamber said, well, we should just do it all for that cost anyway, even though staff advice was that you couldn't. So.
Well, it was staff advice that come up with the number of $68 million.
Thank you, everybody. Has anyone else got any question? Now, has anyone got an allergic reaction to what Russell's suggesting? Why?
Yeah.
I don't think we should be increasing the uniform annual general charge. I think if we were going to fold it in, I would prefer actually just to get rid of it, because then at least the equity thing, where things were spread across the general rate for actually building the infrastructure, would be fairer.
So how much money would it save if we got rid of it altogether? Right.
And just funded this through general rate.
Right? No. It was just a way that staff had come to us on a way to do some housekeeping and tidy things up. What is our uniform annual general charge compared to other cities roughly? Do you know?
So through you, Mr. Yeah, it's a good question. Look, just off the top of my head, we're in the bottom third throughout the council. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Throughout the country.
Okay. Main centres.
Andrew?
This $20 a year?
That's what?
That's the amount? $20 a year?
38 cents a week.
We've got the information, it's $20 a year, it's either there or there. We should just put it to a vote, right?
Well, we can do that on the day.
No, it's a big difference, because the 20, it's where the 20 goes.
Yeah.
Whether it goes on the UAGC or into the general rate, because that means that Phil will pay $46 this year, and going by where...
Yeah. We have two votes.
That's the difference.
Yeah, because you have 2 votes, change it or not change it, and if you're changing it, does it go there or there? Right, we've got the information, just...
We'll vote on Dave probably, but I'll let Jake have who had his hand
No,
up.
I was just going to say I'm loath to put up the UAGC, but I'm also really in favour of good housekeeping, so I'm prepared to set the debate on UAGC aside for 1 year, incorporate it, and then have a debate in a future year about what the appropriate amount of UAGC should be.
Through you.
Yeah.
For this year, I agree with you. I will take a cold shower.
Aaron, sorry, Russell.
Yeah, just through you, Mr. Mayor. So the rate collects within the order of, say, $3.6 million. So if we were to stop it as we are now and put it into the general rate, as opposed to putting it into the UAGC, that would see an increase in rates of about in the general rate about 0.5. Okay. That's right. So it's going to change that mix.
So 0.5 increase. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about, Aaron, Tyler.
Yeah, so what's been lost in this since 2013 is the head-to-head walkway. So an update on where that's at, because this was meant to fund the head-to-head walkway and the cycleway network, and that was put on by the then councillor for Banks Peninsula, Claudia Reid, had pushed hard for that to be included. And it's a fantastic program for everyone that doesn't know about it, and it will be a great tourist attraction. I think it's a 3-day walk from one head to the other or something. Well, we need to know about the head-to-head walkway. We need an update at some
In
point.
what way? What do you need to know?
So the thing is, if this gets folded in.
So is it finished?
So we'll
It's
get
going
some
well.
advice. I think there's a report coming. I'm just checking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tyler, yeah.
I just wanted to check the flexibility of it. If we do fold it into the UAGC, does that cap what we spend on an annual basis over the long-term plan?
Through you, Mr Mayor. Now, the UAGC is effectively a split of the general rate. So it's all those items that council funds. We use the UAGC to identify that some things perhaps are spread on a household basis as opposed to a value basis.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. So-
It's the travel rate itself.
Yes.
So for example, if you're putting away $20 a head within the UAGC, does that cap what we put in on an annual basis into the rates?
No, because it's going to form part of the UAGC. It would be $20. It would just go up by $20.
So for example, if it was in 3 years or next year actually, if it was council's appetite to up the active travel rate, would that then bring up the UAGC or would that bring up the general rate?
No, it depends how you want to fund it. So rather than looking at the funding mechanism, look at the work you want to do and then determine what's the best way to do that. Is it
Okay.
best to charge it on a per household basis, or is it better to charge it like the majority of the general rate on the capital basis for across? So it depends on how you would.
So regardless,
Yeah.
it's still flexible in terms of
Yeah, for sure.
investment, capital investment. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think part of what we're proposing here is making it assumes or gives the impression that that's how much is being spent on active travel,
Yeah.
whether it is or not.
Cool.
So that's right. It's significantly more.
But everyone because I'm throwing my 5 bobs with it, putting it on a UAGC, everyone either uses a bus or a bike or walks or whatever, and that's for everyone. It's not just for some people to pay for it if it went into the general rate. So it just spread everyone. It's even. That's the only way I'm sort of looking at it. Okay, so are we bringing this up as a debate on the day, or we chuck it in the Mayor's Rex?
Yeah. Music.
Mayor's Rex, righto. Thank you.
So we
Be a surprise on the day.
Well, yeah. In other words, it's a debate. Not put it in UAGC. Put it in UAGC.
thank you.
But what do we do with the money that we're collecting anyway? Okay.
All right. So